Today we're going to be replacing the front brakes on a 2003 Jeep Wrangler. And these are the brakes we're going to be using from Duralast. Duralast Gold brakes. These are ceramic brake pads. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is loosen up these two bolts on your brake caliper. You can do this while the tire is still on. Just go ahead and get those broke free. Kind of show you how that's done here. You got one at the top and you got another one down here at the bottom. Just kind of go ahead and get those loosened up. Real simple. Just like so. And by now you should know that you're going to have to take the tire off. And that should be pretty self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and get that done. It's pretty simple. I think you can figure this part out yourself. Time to go back to those bolts. Go ahead and remove those all the way. They should come out fairly easily. That's one. And let's take out that top one too. I've got them loose enough to be taken off by fingers. And that's about it. Slips right out. There you go. With those two bolts off, it just takes a little bit of prying and the entire caliper should come off fairly easily. There you go, just like that. And that's what it's going to look like. Go ahead and pop the inside brake pad off by just pushing it out. It's got little metal retainer clips, just pushes out. And this bottom one, it's easier to get out if you just grab a screwdriver and pry these little tabs back. Pry each side back a little bit. And the pad should loosen up and be fairly easy to remove. Kind of pull it on out of there. There you go. The brake pads are now out of the caliper. That's all there is to that part of the job. Let's take a look at these old brake pads. You can see that one's pretty badly chewed up. The other one was in okay shape. We're going to replace it anyhow. But man, that one was really past its prime. Let's move on. To have enough room to put the new brake pads in, you're going to have to compress this caliper here. And you can buy special tools or rent a special tool or get one free from the auto parts shop. But I just use a C-clamp. Clamp it on, just like I'm showing you here. And I'll show you how that works so that you can create enough space here to be able to get those new brake pads on. And here I got that clamp set, that C-clamp set. Just go ahead and kind of get it squared up. It can be kind of slow to get it started, but once it starts moving, that caliper will compress fairly easily, and you don't need to bleed the brake lines or do anything fancy like that. Just slowly compress that caliper with that C-clamp. Balance it on your foot. That's always a good way to get that stabilized. And go ahead and, again, slowly but surely, just keep cranking on that clamp, and that clamp will compress that caliper on in. See, now you can see that you're going to have enough room there to put those new brake pads on. And just keep going until it's flush. Okay, let's speed this up a little bit. I think you get the idea. Okay, with that caliper compressed, we can take the C-clamp off and start putting the new brake pads in place. Slip the inside one in first with those metallic little spring clips. Pops right in, just like that. And the outside one slips in just as easily. Sometimes it helps to bend the little tabs out a little bit. Slips in just like that. Move these little compression fittings out of the way, and the caliper goes right back on the rotor. As long as you compressed that caliper enough, everything should slip back into place nicely. You can see how the tabs all line up, and these at the top here will line up as soon as we get the bolts in the back lined up. So you can kind of see how all that's going to sit together, just like that. We get our bolts lined up again, one here at the bottom and one here at the top. Go ahead and just get those started and get them all lined up properly, and kind of adjust the caliper as you go, moving everything back into place so it fits tightly. And there you go. That's going to be the final product. You can see how those top tabs are all lined up now. You can see how the caliper, new brake pads all fit together, and you can see how those bottom tabs line up as well. There's another view of the caliper and the new brake pads. You can see them in there, and you can see that your bolts are all tightened down too. And really, that's all there is to replacing the front brakes on a 2003 Jeep Wrangler. Thanks for watching.